Fanwars have become so common that they are depicted as an inevitable part of the K-pop industry. Media also try to fuel fights between fans of K-pop groups, and publicity has become an added advantage for these fans who always strive to keep the name of their favorite bands in the news. But are fan wars really dangerous like they are portrayed? In the beginning, it was just pure love towards K-pop groups, and it was called fandom. Slowly, competition got fierce, and even when idols were trying to have a healthy competition, their fans started treating the opposite group as rivals. Soon, from verbal abuse, fights became physical in nature. From hurling abuses to fistfights, and sometimes the situation gets serious where fans are even injured and arrested. But before getting into the arrest mode, let's have a glimpse of toxic and intense fan wars. The first one on the list is the legendary clash between Soans and Blackjacks that happened in the year 2014. Fans of Girls' Generation called Soans and fans of 21 called Blackjacks got into a heated argument when the Inkigayo program pitted Girls' Generation, 21, and 4 Minute against each other. 4 Minute fans decided to just watch the show neutrally, whereas fans of Girls' Generation and 21 went all out, not only to support their idols but also to put down their rival group. But 4 Minute won the top spot, leaving Girls' Generation and 21 fans waiting for another opportunity to fight it out. The rivalry carried on till the Mama event. Both 21 fans and Girls' Generation were expecting to show each other strength by winning Artist of the Year and Best Female Group Award. But the fistfight and intense fan war came to an abrupt end when instead of both groups, Sistar won Best Female Group and EXO took home the Artist of the Year award. In 6th spot is Soan's legendary argument with ELF. Girls' Generation fans, Soans just hated Super Junior fans called ELF. Reportedly, there were incidents of arguments whenever the two fan groups came face to face. Soans and ELFs could make the atmosphere tense with verbal duels. Soans blamed ELFs for creating Black Ocean when Girls' Generation was performing at Dream Concert in 2008. At that time, Girls' Generation was not popular yet, but the news of them being close to Super Junior members had infuriated ELFs. The incident did not end here. The posters and banners of Super Junior were found to be torn. Angry ELFs directly blamed Soans, and it did not take much time for rumors to spread that Soans were a dangerous fan group that carried knives with them. Even before Soans could prove their innocence, pictures of ELFs with broken hands, legs, and injuries were circulated. But after investigation, the pictures were found to be fake and Soans' name was cleared. But this did not pacify the two groups. Instead, the hatred grew multifold. Pinkies and Cassiopeia's The Legendary Balloon War. Pinkies, the fans of female K-pop group Finko, and Cassiopeia, fans of TVXQ, fought a great war because of the color of balloons. Pinkies were the first to use red balloons to support Finko. During 2003 and 2004, Finko was on a hiatus, and so Cassiopeia requested Pinkies that they would use the red balloon to support TVXQ temporarily. But by 2004 Dream Concert, TVXQ had become extremely popular, and red balloons became their official fandom balloon color. Disappointed by this, Pinkies demanded that TVXQ fans should use a different colored balloon, but their demand fell on deaf ears. Angered by this, Pinkies collected a large number of balloons bought to support TVXQ and hid them under the stairway. With this, fan war between Pinkies and Cassiopeia was intensified, but neither Pinkies nor Cassiopeia's gave up their red balloon. But what happened next was interesting. In 2015, iKON made their debut, and there was a rumor that their fan color would be red. This angered Cassiopeia's, and they demanded iKON fans to shed the idea. Other fandoms got into action to remind TVXQ about how the group had stolen Finko's fan colors. So it is true, what goes around surely comes around. Fourth one is the rivalry between EXO-Ls and VIPs in 2015. In 2015, EXO and Big Bang were competing for Mama Awards. But as EXO fans called EXO-Ls observed, the number of Big Bang votes increased insanely. EXO-Ls accused Mnet of tampering with the voting process. This took the rivalry between EXO-Ls and VIPs to another level. One of EXO fans even posted a video of herself burning a picture of Big Bang's Taeyang with EXO's Mama playing in the background. Blinks and BTS Army. In 2021 June, BTS Army trended a hashtag Blackpink disband on Twitter. The reason was that BTS Army was somehow convinced that Blackpink fans named Blinks were spreading negative comments against BTS. Army stated that Blinks were using racist and sexual slurs against BTS. Army also trended #BlackpinkFlop on Twitter. But none of these incidents led to any arrest. Fanwars are mostly about toxicity. In today's K-pop world, fanwars are mostly conducted using light sticks. Creating Black Ocean has become the biggest way of dissing a K-pop band. Number 2. Jealousy-clad animosity between Banas and Darlings. In 2011, B1A4 and Dalshabet collaborated for a fun performance during the SBS Music Festival. This not only revived the fan war between B1A4 fans Banas and Dalshabet fans Darlings, but was taken to extreme levels. The reason was simple. During the collaboration, at the most for about 5 seconds, B1A4 members had to place their hands on Dalshabet members' legs and Dalshabet members' bodies had to roll against B1A4 members' bodies. This created havoc as fans, especially Banas, couldn't take it. They verbally abused Dalshabet members, especially Seri, who had to tender an apology for speaking against Banas. But the apology did no good to Dalshabet as just a week later, rumor of Dalshabet members gracing the occasion of 2012 Athletic Championship along with other idol groups was spread. When other rival fan groups threatened to throw eggs on Seri, Banas exhibited extreme behavior and claimed that Darlings were assaulting, kidnapping, and raping Banas. This made the situation so tense that the police were forced to intervene. The police then threatened to take strict action against the hate-mongers. Thanks to police intervention, this fan war ended in a verbal duel. But in January 2012, Dalshabet's website was hacked and instead of group's messages, B1A4 message was popping up on the screen, "Why are you messing with Banas?" But the worst of all fan wars was the war between fans of HOT and Zexkis. Here is why there is no match to it. HOT, launched in 1996 by SM Entertainment, was a big hit. HOT had a huge fan base that was called White Angels. The K-pop group was so popular that the Department of Education banned students from leaving school early as a huge number of students were found waiting in queue to buy tickets for HOT concerts. DSP Media formed Zexkis as a counter to HOT. Soon, the group surpassed HOT's popularity following their appearance in multiple variety shows and also in a movie. Their fandom called Dear Zexkis Friends grew bigger and was later called Yellow Keys. The point is, Zexkis became more popular than HOT. This provoked White Angels and things started to take a wrong turn. In July 1997, HOT released the album Wolf and Sheep. During one of their performances, Yellow Keys insulted HOT by twisting the group's lyrics to "Damn you wolves, HOT." And when Zexkis performed, White Angels made sure that there was no cheering and complete silence. This can be called the first-generation Black Ocean experience. Zexkis were invited to perform at Myeosong Girls High School, but the school had the highest number of HOT fans. Zexkis received such horrible treatment that a HOT fangirl spat on Kang Sang-hoon while performing. From throwing melons to fistfights, the war between White Angels and Yellow Keys was getting worse as days passed. After a number of altercations and fistfights, the worst incident occurs during KBS Music Award event where HOT won the Daesang or the Grand Prize, leaving Yellow Keys fuming with rage. The fight between fans of both the groups was so severe that police had to intervene and make arrests. Due to physical fights, many fans were also hospitalized. When fans are fighting with this intensity, do you think idols of competitive groups keep quiet? Absolutely not. Actually, HOT member Tony An and Zexkis member Kim Jae-wook went a step ahead and became closest friends after they enlisted in the military. They were even roommates while serving in the military. This proves fan wars are limited to fans and idols do not get involved in rivalry. However, these series of not-so-favorable situations between White Angels and Zexkis paved way for violent fan wars that led to arrest of fans. Though fistfights among fans and the trend of getting arrested has vanished long ago, current ways of digital fan wars are more toxic and scarier. K-pop needs fans, not wars. As BTS said rightly, war of hormones is anytime better than war of hatred.